Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to actually start addressing the youth aspects of developing speed. I think this is really important. I get a lot of questions from parents. How do I improve my child's speed? When should I start lifting weights and those kind of things? So we're going to start by doing a few of these. And I thought presentation style is the best way to go to start off with. If you don't know who I am, my name's Sam Paul, and I'm the author and the creator of the Sports Speed System, and have worked and consulted with many of these different clubs and individuals from these organizations for over the last decade. And team sport speed is my thing. But one of the big things that I have ran and hosted is a youth training academy for over the last decade as well, coaching kids from under nines all the way up to under 18s. And it's an absolute passion of mine. So let's take you through a couple of things that you need to understand. So first and foremost, understanding age. Typically what I like to do, and we like to look at these things, and when I was writing the actual youth development curriculum at a professional rugby club over 10 years ago, we looked at the age bracket slightly differently. So under nines, under 11s, and under 15s, because what happens with those is obviously we have changes in height and weight, and there's something called peak height velocity and peak weight velocity, and we all just consider these as your growth spurts and your height spurts. As you know, some kids will come back 6 inches taller over Christmas or 6 inches wider over the summer, and it's just how it is. So typically, instead of bracketing consecutive ages, we space them out over a couple of years. And then under 15s, obviously, we all know what happens at 15 to 18. There's a lot of change that goes on there, which needs a little bit more specialist attention. But first and foremost, understanding age is not something chronological as well, it's biological. So it's the way that your child is changing. For my example, I was actually let go of a professional rugby academy at 13 for being too small. I was 5'10" and about 60 kilos, but then at 19, I was 6'4" and 100 kilos. So it's just the way that genetics and time plays itself out. So always had that in consideration. The last part of age I want you to understand is training age. So from if your kid has played football from the age of 5 to 9, for example, then they've kind of got 4 years of football age on their belt. But when if your kid is watching this and your kid is 15 and they've never done any physical resistance training before, they still have a zero training age. So that clock starts from the moment they start doing structured, organized training, resistance training, and vice versa. So the first part that I want you to understand here is coordination, the first big pillar. So as your kid grows, as common sense, as you can see, my brain is working real hard over here. As your kid grows, it will lose control over its limbs until you complete the proper training to retrain the brain. You know, we see it all the time, like a kid gets a bit taller and they can't catch. Or they may slow down, or they pick up growth related injuries. So we have to really address the coordination elements of strength and power before trying to bully strength and power. And there's certain specific ways that we can do this. But safe to say, a safe and effective youth development strategy is not about the weights on the bar. It's or the numbers that they can achieve. It's about how they're achieving the movement to create strength. And we're going to take you through a little bit of that in a minute. So sit tight. So the next part, pillar 2, is effective sprint mechanics. I'm a speed geek. I'm well known for sprinting and team sport speed, but I want you to understand that effective mechanics of movement are one of the most important things that's going to keep your kid healthy and safe. And if they've got a bit bigger or they've got a bit taller and they've lost a bit of coordination, these are the things that we need to focus on so they can effectively do their sport and perform at their sport really, really well. Remember always the sport is in mind. We have to keep the sport in mind all the time. So it ties into coordination. So we will keep hammering the coordinated elements of training in order to ensure that the athlete is safe, is healthy, and enjoys the sport that they play. They can keep in playing the sport. and move forward at a progressive rate. And then when we start looking at types of resistance training, we're looking at relative strength and body awareness. So many kids make this mistake of hitting the weights too soon. They can't do the basics. So we don't worry about weights stunt the growth. They don't. It doesn't. Weights actually improve, and resistance training actually improves bone density. And in rugby, 29% of all injuries that was covered in an audit were related, 49% of all injuries were related to the contact situation. So what that tells us is that lots of young athletes are not actually physically prepared to take the impacts of the game. And then when you think about the technical elements of the skills for like rugby, you're getting taught to tackle, but you won't want to do push-ups or jump training or throw medicine balls. But you then, in the same breath, you allow your child to jump off a climbing frame. So there's just a bit of awareness that we need to create around this. And first and foremost, the way that we do it is body awareness, as we talked about. So the coordination mechanics, and then resistance training. Can the kid do 10 push-ups? Can the kid do 10 chin-ups? Can the kid do lunges? Can they do the basics? Can they throw medicine balls and move well? And that's a huge part. It's the third pillar that we look at. And so what does an effective training program look like? This is taken out of like our My Speed Freaks kids, youth and juniors programs. And we start always with fundamental basic animal movements. And with that, we're looking at bear crawls, duck walks, frog jumps, and stuff like that. And I'm going to link these videos that are shown here underneath, so you can go and check them out. They're actually private videos, but I'm going to link them underneath. And then because it's all about moving and controlling, and animal walks do that really well, and they're fun. And then coordination, ladder drills. Ladder drills don't technically make you run fast. I think they're not speed ladders. They don't actually improve your speed, but they improve your coordination, and coordination is really important. They're really useful in warm-ups. They're easy for parents to coach their kids in as well, which is really important for me. And they're easy to put a lot of athletes through, and they're fun. They're fun. They keep young kids and young athletes engaged and keeping their attention, which is really, really important. And then lastly, the specific sprint mechanic activities and drills. They're really important as well, as always. And these actually, when you check out those videos, are a strength training tool. Because you'll see, if you put your child through some exercises like these and you ask them, do you want to do some training for football, training for rugby? Let's go out into the back garden and we'll jump, or we'll walk like a duck, we'll run through some ladders real fast, and then we're going to do some acceleration stuff, and then maybe shoot some goals or do some passing at the end. It's a great half an hour, 45-minute hit that could be done once or twice a week, which is amazing. And then when you get to these bilateral wall squats and bits and bobs like that, you're going to really see the coordination elements that your kid may be lacking, and even try them yourself. So hopefully for today, that first of all, thank you for making it this far in the video. I really appreciate it. And hopefully today we shed some light on your child's development and how you can do that and be the best parent coach that you want. So for any further information, just check the description below. Please leave me any comments or specific questions that you have. I'm happy to make some more videos on this for you. And make sure you stick around, have a root around, see the next video, and I will speak to you soon.